Christy Raines, and I'm here today to encourage you to quit smoking. In 1927, the cigarette had its first big role in movies, and this is how the tobacco industry started advertising through Hollywood. Many stars continued the trend of keeping the image of the cigarette cool through the early 90s. And John Wayne in 1950 began advertising for Camel, but he developed lung cancer in 1964. John Wayne was one of the roughest, toughest cowboys on television, but what was happening to him? He was dying from cigarettes. Is the price of death worth looking cool? In today's discussions, I'm going to discuss what ads may or may not have contributed to our habit, the diseases that we can prevent, the example we can set for our children by quitting, and the amount of money that can be saved. I was 15 when I picked up my first cigarette 10 years ago. And I made the decision to start smoking that cigarette the same way I made my decision to smoke my last cigarette 10 days ago. It was a lot easier to begin smoking than it was to quit. And while I can blame my addiction on many other factors, ultimately it was my decision. Granted, ads like these make smoking look pretty harmless, like Santa Claus here smoking Pall Malls. He even suggests that giving a carton of cigarettes for Christmas is the best way to say Merry Christmas. And this doctor, he's smoking Camel, so it must be pretty safe, right? And this is my favorite. To keep a slender figure, no one can deny. Well, any woman in America would smoke 4 packs of cigarettes a day if it were to keep you skinny, right? So what if ads were a little more morbid? Like this one with throat cancer coming out of the guy's neck. That person that you gave that carton of cigarettes to for Christmas, you also gave him throat cancer. So it's kind of like a gift that keeps on giving. This one's pretty self-explanatory. We're just dead men walking while we smoke. And even though we know what a smoke-free lung looks like compared to a smoker's lung, obviously we're not motivated to quit. Lung cancer is the disease that's most affiliated with smoking, but we're also really susceptible to oral cavity cancer, cancer of the pharynx, the larynx, the stomach, the cervix. You don't have those. Pretty much any major organ in your body. And you can even get acute myeloid leukemia from it. So why don't we quit smoking, prevent these diseases, and start enjoying some of the finer things in life, like taste. It's a proven fact that your taste buds enhance whenever you quit smoking. And to me, food tastes a lot better since I quit. And smell. I smell a lot better. My house smells better. My car smells better. And my kid doesn't go to school smelling like smoke. And I enjoy running around in the backyard now with my kid. I don't seem to run out of breath as easily, and I thought it was just because I was getting old, but it was because my cardiac function was decreasing. And while I'm speaking about my kid, it brings me to my next point. He was my main motivation to quit. I never want him to pick up a cigarette. But how am I supposed to tell him not to smoke when I'm a smoker myself? Unfortunately, our kids are going to do what we do, and according to research, 60% of children whose parents smoke begin smoking and develop the habit at a young age. So why don't we stop that now? Let's share our experience of quitting with our children so that they can see how hard it is before they even start. And even if you don't have children, there's someone out there who looks up to you. So if we look at our younger generation and the future of America, then we'll be motivated to set the right example. And setting the right example is something positive we can do for our kids. But by continuing to smoke, we're infecting our children with secondhand smoke, and it has 450 toxins in it. Within those toxins are carcinogens, which in turn can cause cancer. So why should our children's chances of developing cancer be higher just because we choose to smoke? A statement by the Surgeon General says that the best way to prevent your family from secondhand smoke is to quit smoking. So if those reasons aren't good enough for you, preventing diseases and protecting your children, what about money? Who likes to save money?
Ooh.
I know I do. And the last time I bought a pack of cigarettes, it was $6.66. Like, that's not a bad enough number, but I was spending $200 a month on cigarettes. $2,400 a year. That's quite a bit of money. I could put a down payment on a car with that. I could buy that Apple computer that I want so desperately, or I could just go on a nice vacation. I would rather invest in something fun versus, say, cancer or emphysema. So I hope that by talking about what diseases can be prevented, the example we can set for our children, and the amount of money that can be saved, you realize the benefits of becoming a non-smoker. While quitting is not easy, it is possible, and if I can do it, so can you. So I hope you leave here today with a different idea about smoking, and make the decision to quit so that you can live a healthy, smoke-free lifestyle.